If you are planning to buy a property in Italy, you can enjoy a huge fiscal ease. And in this video, you will discover how you can do that. I'm Jacopo, I'm an Italian real estate agent, and if you need some help in buying or investing in Italian real estate, I can help you out, so check the description to find my contacts. What I'm speaking about is the first home fiscal ease. This fiscal ease is not limited to the Italian citizens, and also a foreign buyer can use this opportunity. So let's start from the conditions you need to respect to use this fiscal ease. 1. You don't own any other property in Italy bought with first home fiscal ease. 2. You don't own any property in the municipality you are willing to buy with the first home fiscal ease. And 3. You have to move your residency in the municipality where you are buying the property within 18 months from the notarial deed. So if you respect these 3 conditions, you can use the first home fiscal ease. When you buy a property in Italy, of course, you need to pay some taxes. Usually these taxes are the registration tax, which is 9% of the cadastral value, the mortgage and the cadastral tax, which are 200 euros each, and then you need to pay the registration for the preliminary contract. So let's start from the registration of the preliminary contract, which is the first step you need to accomplish to buy a property in Italy. So the registration of the preliminary contract is mandatory. It's up to the real estate agency if you are working with a real estate agency, and it costs 200 euros plus 16 euros every 4 pages or 100 lines of contract. In addition to this cost, advances must be paid on the registration tax that you will pay at the notarial deed. More specifically, you have to pay 0.5% of the deposit you paid in the preliminary contract. This is just an advance because this amount that you are paying at the registration of the preliminary contract on the deposit will be discounted from the final registration tax. Now, taxes on the notarial deed really depends on the type of property you are buying and who is selling the property. So let's talk about what usually happens. So a private person selling a property to another private person. If you want to have further information on any other case, so buying with a company or buying from a company or any other case, please write a comment and maybe I will make a video about that. As I said previously, the registration tax is usually 9% of the cadastral value. But if you can use the first home fiscal ease, this taxation is reduced to 2% of the cadastral value. And also the cadastral value will be lower than the normal purchase. The minimum for the registration tax is 1,000 euros. So if the calculation of the registration tax go below this limit, you will still pay the minimum, so 1,000 euros. Speaking about the mortgage and cadastral tax that, as we have seen previously, were 200 euros each, so a total of 400 euros. In this case, with the first home fiscal ease, they will be reduced to 50 euros each, so 100 euros in total. So the reduction of the taxes with the first home fiscal ease are huge. So we speak about going from 9% of an higher cadastral value to 2% of a lower cadastral value. But it's not stopping here, because if you actually move your residency and you live as a principal home in the property you are buying, you also don't have to pay any property tax. The property tax is the tax that you pay every year to the Italian government based on the value of the property you own. But if you are living in a house as a principal home, you don't have to pay any property tax. The property tax in Italy is called IMU, I-M-U, and usually it's 1.06% 10% of the cadastral value. To be clear, the cadastral value is not the same even for the same property, because as we saw, it's changing from the normal purchase to the first home fiscalise, and also for the calculation of IMU, so the property tax, is changing again. So there is no one cadastral value for every property, and it changes based on the calculation of the taxes. But still, if you are living in a property in Italy, you don't pay any property tax. Another situation is when a buyer buys from a construction company that builds the property in the last 5 years. Usually, in this case, the main tax is VAT, which is 10% of the purchase value. So it's not calculated anymore on the cadastral value, but on the purchase value. If you are using the first home tax relief, instead of the 10%, you will pay 4%. So also in the case you are buying from a company using the first home fiscalise, it's really helpful. Then you have mortgage, registry, and cadastral tax that in this case will remain fixed on 200 euros for each, so a total of 600 euros. So actually buying a property built in the last 5 years directly from the construction company, it's a bit more expensive. One last piece of important information. If you are an Italian citizen living abroad and you are inside the AIRE, so the registry of the Italian citizens living abroad, you can actually buy a first home in Italy, so use the first home fiscalise, and you don't need to move your residency in Italy. This is really interesting. If you somehow you have the Italian citizenship, you can also use this opportunity. So if you have any question or doubt about this fiscalise, please write a comment. I will reply to everybody, or at least I will try to reply to everybody. And if you need any help, in the description of the video, again, you find the contacts with me and my team. If you want to know more about the Italian real estate markets, you can consider to subscribe to Valente Italian Properties channel, and see you in the next video.